starting.
Yes, let's do it. Suddenly, wow, now we're quiet.
Live.
Nice.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Well, that was smooth. Maybe we should turn it off and then start it over again.
All right.
Yeah.
Take 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just edit that part out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're missing. We're missing the sound effects. That's why it was like.
So hello and welcome.
Yeah.
We are the Arcade Hangout.
Hey, I'm just a viewing peasant this time.
All right, this is episode 126, and we are the longest running live arcade podcast on YouTube. 26% more than the next guy at this point.
Nice.
And I think tonight is mostly going to be talking about Sneakfest. I'm really excited to hear about it myself because I wasn't able to make it. I did see a little bit of the Slack photos, a couple things on KLV, so looking forward to hearing your guys' perspective on how it all went. So
Yeah.
And then Carrie, you created a question for the night too, I guess. What was
I
that one?
did. I don't remember exactly how it was worded, but it was something along the lines of, for those of us who were at Sneakfest, what was your first coin drop? So non-tournament game that you played, and I guess it doesn't have to be a coin drop, it could be you walked up and found a credit on something. And then if you were not there, I provided a link to the
Somebody wants some.
I know. She totally does. And she doesn't normally do this. It's only when I'm on the show. It's like, let's kiss on film. So
It's
if
like
you were
you're
not
talking
there,
to someone, but not me. Why aren't you talking to me?
exactly. When my daughter was little, she had the same ability to be like, "Oh, you're busy. Let me do something obnoxious." Usually, it was pulling things out of the cupboards. And so, if you did not go, there's a link to what the games are at FunSpot on that the ACAM site, so you can take a look and see what it is that if you were there, you would have sought out and dropped your quarter in. Ding.
Nice.
Thank
Thank God we have you, Mock, despite the pneumonia.
So I'll just kick off by saying thanks to Leo for keeping this going. I'm sure everybody else that made it out there had a good time from what I can tell. So yeah, great job.
Thank you for everyone's help and support. Thanks to everyone for coming out there. I know it's a far ride for a lot of people, especially on this channel that are on the West Coast or Colorado, Minnesota, Buffalo, and California. I appreciate you all coming out here, and figured you guys wanted to go there to actually have fun and maybe relax, not run the event like maybe has happened in years past. So yeah, I'm glad that we had I was looking at the badge today, we had 35 people show up for the tournament, which was
Nice.
20 some odd people registered, like 15 or so that kind of just were there or didn't, we just showed up and started playing. So that was really nice. And as I said too, I apparently I was told, I said this a couple of times at the event, that this event's not going away. It's going to be there for years in the future. So I think we have a nice little format nailed down, and a lot of credit to FunSpot, because a lot of their games were working this year. Like, I know in years past that was an issue, but there wasn't any game that I said I really we wanted to play for the tournament that was down. So that was very nice. And my first quarter drop was a Chiller. It's always it's one of my first when I go there, because it's kind of right inside the door, right outside where like all the main games are, and that's not a lot of people have that. It's either that or Bank Panic are usually one of the two that I go to first, because they just don't see them otherwhere. Like, I like Rastan and Rolling Thunder, but they're at other arcades, unlike those two. So that was my first coin drop. And then before we started talking like Sneakfest and all the fun that we had with sports and Brian Koo, and we'll pass it on to the dancing baby, Dave from Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what my first coin drop might have been. It was either Spy Hunter or Star Trek Captain's Chair, which I'm a big fan of. I'm trying to think if I even it might have been, what was the first game we did in the
Circus Charlie. Circus Charlie.
Oh, that was the first one we did in the NAT on Friday?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been it. I'll say that was it.
Yeah. Although this is your first game you played not in a tournament.
Yeah.
But,
then that would be Spy Hunter.
Mm.
And then it wasn't working correctly, the cockpit, because I like to play the cockpit when it's available. And then I think I went right over to the captain's chair because it was right next to it. But yeah, that was it. It was a good time. Pass it on to Carrie. Since I'm looking at you.
So, because I was talking. So my first coin drop was the Glob, but I was excited and impatient, and I hadn't played it since the last time I was at Fun Spot, which was 2 years ago. So I dropped a quarter, and I might as well have just kissed it away, because I'm playing it because I didn't want to take the time to actually reread the instructions on how to play. So yeah, I'm like, what do you do? Wait, why can't I'm just stuck here? I'm just jumping. And I can't move.
It's not like me playing poker.
So yeah, by my last life, then I was starting to, oh yeah, I was killing some of the things with the elevator, and kind of getting into it. And then after I died, then I took the time to read the little instruction card, and I was going to go back and play it some more, but ended up shiny kind of thing and wandering off. So, so I never did. I was going to go back that weekend, and then poof, the weekend was over with, which is what happens at these events.
I know.
Blob is a super fun game. We got to play that in the tournament a few years ago.
Yeah, isn't it the game with the elevators and there's little buttons to bring the elevators down?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. Is that the one?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
We call the elevator, and
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of a little different than you normally see.
Is there a difference between that and Beastie Feasty, or are they the same game?
I think they're the same.
They're on the same, they made
Style
the
and
same,
the way it plays,
same style, yeah, I think, Same software as well, like old Pac-Man stuff.
And then there was a Super Glob, too, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did it play similarly, or?
We'll have to get Crafty back on those ones next.
Yes. Yeah, I think he was talking about the Glob.
Did that make his latest update?
Yeah, I saw it the other day. That's cool.
I didn't catch what the games were on his latest.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I thought he was definitely talking about it.
Yeah, I remember he talked about it. I didn't know if he executed it or not, but cool.
Yeah, it was live. I saw Facebook posts about it.
Sweet.
All right. Well, I will pass it to. I'll pass it to 34K.
Ba-dum-bum.
I think the first game that I played was Super Sprint. Actually, it was right there in the front, and had an urge to play it. Felt like punching myself in the dick, so.
Was the other guy there that's the world record holder on that game?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was there. Rob Ross.
There we go. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So they had I think both their Paperboy and Super Sprint had LCDs in them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know, but they're medium res monitors.
Yeah.
So, I think someone made a good. I don't remember who it was, but I'm sure someone will remind me here. But someone made a good point of it was a John that said it originally, or someone said it originally, but rather an LCD than a dead game.
Yeah.
I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Because I remember the monitor
Hopefully
last
they're doing
year.
that 4x3 aspect. They're not stretching it weird,
Yeah, no. It looked actually when playing it looked fine. It was a little washed out, so I
Okay.
think they could have done some color adjustments on it. But it played the game, and after a few minutes of getting into it and racing, and kind of forgot about it.
Could have been a viewing angle because you're so tall.
It might have been. Someone was
Yeah.
someone was saying the same thing about the Paperboy having the
Okay.
same problem. Jim was saying that it looked washed out. But yeah, it's fun. And then after that, played Black Knight 2000. Even after the second game.
Hey, that's
Oh, that might have been my first coin drop. That was.
And
I
that
forgot
game
about it.
was
Yeah.
playing better than it ever has at Fun Spot. It was no problem to make those left-hand ramps to get it back up top. Drawbridge worked. A couple of the switches were a little bit iffy, I think, on the upper loop. But you'd hit a loop and it wouldn't always register. But Still working
That's
mostly.
that's
Considering,
cool.
yeah.
Dave, I think, said that it wasn't working before. So
Yeah,
it's
every time I've been there
iffy.
before, it's been.
Like
Yeah, so
last
it's
year,
good they fixed
it was off, and then the one year it was on, and then it was down again the second day. But it was working, yeah, this time.
Yeah.
That was my first quarter, Jeff. I forgot all about it.
Good game. And I actually played 3 games of that in a row because there was an extra credit on there that I didn't realize, and then I got a free game.
Nice.
Nice.
Sweet.
So we're also going to pass this to non-show people, right? So, Steve, where you go?
Oh yeah, my answer was going to be Black
Captain
Knight
Jack.
2000, actually.
Nice.
Just because I remember Dave talking about it and stuff.
Have you been to Fun Spot, or have you?
No, I've never
Okay.
been.
He picked a game to play, right?
It just seems kind of a really pricey trip for me to go.
Nope.
I gotta like
Yeah, from
pick
the West Coast, it ain't cheap.
It ain't cheap, and I gotta pick my destination. So I picked CAX this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it makes total.
So I'll do CAX and Grinkers. So those are my trips, and I'm going to Europe at the end of the year. So
Oh boy.
Nice.
busy year. Yeah,
Nice.
another Europe trip. Yeah, going with some old friends. But yeah, just Black Knight 2000 is just I know Andrew and I have played it together. At CAX actually.
Is it CAX? Yeah.
It's just a fun. I just love the music in that game and everything. And I don't know, Dave. I remember Dave said he played it there, and I was like, oh, that's something I'd probably play. So I definitely would run to that. Oh, that's my answer.
Well,
All right.
Fun Spot doesn't have any main machines, so you couldn't love any of those.
Oh, they have some Daphne machines
I
though.
do.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the only one they had up, the only one that I saw was Cliffhanger.
I was gonna say, was that running? Yeah, because they're Dragon's Lair and stuff. I think those are running now on Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I think Cliffhanger is running Daphne.
I don't know if anyone, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that either of the Dragon's Lairs were there.
No, I didn't see him.
Ooh.
Oh, they're right next to it usually.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, there was
Yeah.
definitely nothing else in the corner.
Yeah,
Cliffhanger was definitely like stuck in the corner too.
where the old laser
Same place,
games
yeah,
used
yeah.
to be. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, they used to have a Laserdisc corner.
Mhm.
I only know that from watching John's tours. So, by the way, in the spirit of you guys going to Fun Spot, I actually watched all of Greg from Arcade Impossible's video. It was 2016's Fun Spot event, and that's how long it took him to finally fucking upload the damn thing. 2 fucking years. And you know what's funny is he's having a conversation with somebody, and they're saying, "When are you going to upload this one?" In 2018.
That was Jow. That was Jow. No, and then he had that winner graphic.
Yeah, it's
on
a
it, the
ding, ding,
winner.
ding winner, and it's so funny. It's like, but I saw Carrie and Jim playing games in the background while they're like doing stuff, and I'm like, oh, there they are. I know them. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm anxious to hear about all the shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to go over.
Sweet.
All right, I'll move this along so we can get to it. Let's see. How about GAC?
All right. So there's actually 2 games, but I'll mention one, and if no one mentions the other one, I'll bring it up again. But I would love to stumble across this game at some point. My son and I played it a lot on my Xbox actually a few years back. Load Runner. So Load Runner is a really fun game, and they made tons of sequels to that one too. And I believe theirs is a quote unquote dedicated machine, because I've seen other ones pop up. It looks like a Hypersports cabinet. I think it's almost identical to a Hypersports cabinet, but it's all wood grain. And there's flyers with it like that. Like that was a factory cabinet. It looked like a track field Hypersports, but wood grain. So
And that's what Fun Spots is. It has wood grain on it.
yes, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a cool game. To me, it has kind of almost like a Zookeeper type effect on me, like very addictive. Like I keep wanting to play and keep trying because there's patterns and all that stuff. So yeah, that's a good one. So who else didn't go? Orangewood?
I have not gone.
I haven't gone.
All right.
So what I would pick for my first game is what Carrie actually did pick for her first game, and that was the Glob. I also played it there a couple years ago, and I ended up getting a full kit from Cool Mo Craig.
Oh, that's right.
But I just haven't had a chance to build it, and I've been itching to, so that's what I would have gone to right away and dropped a quarter in as a Glob. Yeah.
Nice.
I also have an extra an empty track and field cab here to also build a load runner one day as well.
Oh,
so.
man. Right, next summer, you better have it running.
Because Load Runner was a game I played a lot on when Windows 95 and stuff came out. There was ones where you could edit levels and stuff yourself.
Oh, wow.
And I used to play the shit out of that all the time.
I'm pretty sure it was like on my Atari a long time ago too.
Oh yeah, it was on the old school stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on the Commodore 64 and stuff too. But
so I played it a lot back in the day too at home.
Cool. Yeah. So I will pass it along to the Australian of our group then.
And what time is it here, by the way?
I would have put my first quarter into Death Race if it was actually running. I don't know.
Yeah. That's always running, actually. Yeah.
That's always running. Yeah.
Never seen one. Always wanted to play it.
God,
that's why I was
track mode on it or what?
Yeah, it's just a cool looking cabinet.
Having that across from the table
was terrible.
Oh, yeah, that would have sucked.
It's really loud.
God, it's so loud.
Yeah. I love the look of the cabinet.
You know, Disneyland used to have that arcade game in the Penny Arcade long time ago. But I'm surprised they would have a game like that where you run over people, you know? But
it's very, I mean, you wouldn't even offend people. It's black and white, and the people are, stick figures. Yeah.
So the graphics on screen are very non-offensive, but like the whole cabinet's like covered in skulls and
it's
like dead right there on the top.
I love that. I think that's
looks badass.
It does. Yeah.
I'd love to see one day. So. That'd be in the game I would have put a quarter in.
There's one in San Francisco too, the Museum Mécanique on the boardwalk down there.
Oh yeah,
okay. Oh really?
Yeah, there's one there too.
Oh, sweet. No, cool. I'll have to definitely find it next time I'm in America. So that's for sure.
One just sold a coin up warehouse for like $3,000, 3,300 I think, just in the last week.
And that's actually pretty cheap for coin up warehouse, really. Is everyone going now? Or?
I think so. Yeah.
So one other game I'm going to mention was Pandora's Palace.
Oh right,
I have one of those too.
Yeah, that's an uber rare game. Yeah, that was in the tournament. What 3 years ago? I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Brofest. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very
really fun. Yeah, it's very Donkey Kong like, but we're in reverse. You start at the top.
Backwards. Yeah.
I thought about making that a NAT game, like a 2-person NAT game, but that was. Well, we end up getting a little
since
shorter.
You're talking about Nat, there's your segue.
Yeah. Well,
so do you guys want to? I don't know where you want to start. If you want to start at like when people started showing up in Boston.
Yeah, we should start. We should start. So Super Sterns came on Wednesday. We picked them off the airport. We hung out in Boston. Really cool time. We stayed up to like 3 a.m. watching Braveheart, and then.
Did you guys embrace each other and cry yourself to sleep or anything like that at the end?
No comment.
Okay.
No comment. So then I knew Jimbo had the early flight, so we woke up at 11, and I woke up to Andrew's text saying, "Hey, my flight got delayed." I'm like, "Oh, this is sweet. Like that's even closer to when Carrie's going to be here, so it's less time at the airport." And then like as I had that thought, Carrie's text came in like, "My flight got delayed too."
Oh, that whole thing.
Yeah, and I think Andrew, your flight was delayed an hour or so, and so we picked up Jimbo. We ate. We went to the waterfront in Boston. We had lunch, had a couple of beers. We picked up Andrew, and then at that time, Carrie's flight got delayed. What, like 4.5 hours? This is when Carrie's get back. She can tell her lovely story about that. Like every 5 minutes, it was like, "Sorry, well, we're taking off now." Oh, they delayed us. Oh, we're taking off. Oh, they delayed us.
Yeah, the engine's broke. Oops.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm gonna put a new engine.
Sign off on this. Like so. Yeah. Then we went to a bar. 4 of us went to a bar at the waterfront. Had a nice little beer tap. Not gonna lie.
That was the $275.
Yeah.
$275 for 4 people.
Yes.
Oh, no, I saw that.
And I think I had like 2 or 3 beers because I was like, oh, I know I got to drive, pick up, and get Carrie. So
it's really 3 people.
and the waiter bought us a round of shots.
He did, yes, yeah, he did.
Wow.
That's He knew we were we were there for a while. So then we drive to pick up Carrie, and we knew she would be hungry, so we were going to eat at the bar there, and it closed because it's 9:30 p.m. on a Thursday. Why would a fucking bar be open? But
Right.
So then we went to the Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was during the game 1 of the Cleveland Golden State game, which for a bar in Boston, like normally, I'll admit it, we take our sports very seriously, but it was like on
sports.
Yeah, sports. People thought.
Is this where we come in with the hashtag sports?
All of a sudden, people like random things.
Spoiler.
I mean, it was a very important game, and a lot of shit happened. But like, there'd be one section of the crew who would like be cheering when Cleveland did well, and then like the Golden State section would be like, "Oh fuck them, we're gonna make it even louder." So like, it was just like this back and forth, like trying to like show up the other person. So yeah,
right.
So,
And
yeah,
when I saw that Golden State was playing, I was like, oh yeah, now I got something to cheer for. Not that I give really any shits, but come on, California.
Yeah, and like that at the ending of the game, which was so crazy for anyone that follows like basketball, like it was just really wild. So that got really loud then. So yeah, that was the hashtag sports.
Well, it's because I could give 2 shits about it, but like the whole place is being really loud.
It was the 2 sections for like teams that we don't give a shit about. It was just like these random people like, yeah, let's go Cleveland. Like, you're in fucking Boston. Come on now. Yeah.
So we started cheering.
Excuse the party.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was the sports thing came up because like during one of the big cheers, I just screamed out, "Yeah, sports!"
That's right.
I like sports.
Yeah. And for just a brief 1/8 of a second, everyone was kind of quiet when you did that.
Yeah.
I was just at the really tall man yelling out, "Sports!" Like,
That's so funny.
Down, are we?
So then we came back to my place. We played some old school Nintendo games. We were out at in my backyard drinking till about 3:34ish, and I knew Dave was flying in at 11 or landing at 10 o'clock. So I'm like, I took the temperature of the room. Like, so I think we should be up and try and leave here by 9 a.m. And taking the temperature of the room, realized that was not going to fucking happen. So I texted Dave at 4 being like, yeah, we're going to be late. So then we ended up going up. We went to this lovely restaurant with an inspiring story about this Nellie Rose who got her parents got murdered.
This is at 4 a.m. or you went to sleep and got up?
We went to sleep. We got up at 11, 12-ish or something like that too.
We got up earlier than that.
So Dave's sitting in the airport just hanging loose for a couple hours.
We did get up earlier than that, but we had 4. How many people showering? So I mean, we had to cycle through the showers. We had
everybody
5
stayed
showers.
at Reno's house that night. Is that right?
Yes,
Yes.
5. There was 5 people, including myself there.
Okay.
Right. So we ended up leaving at like 11. We got the breakfast. Then we went to pick up Dave. And
look at these pulling up threes.
Yeah, so Dave was at the airport for 3 hours, which I'm sure he'll mention because he wouldn't fucking shout him out the whole time we were at Brofest. And like, yeah. So then when we
his tab probably was nowhere near $275.
No. You gotta tell him about your Bud Light.
Yeah, my Bud Lights were $6.43 each at the Wahlburgers bar at the Boston Airport. It wasn't the 3 hours. Leo can continue.
So then we get there and we
I might need to leave about
It
now.
wasn't that 3 hours.
right.
Yes.
No.
It was a different 3 hours.
No.
Foreshadowing. So we get to the airport and we since we had 6 people, Superstorms rented a car. And I said, all right, I'll pick up Dave and then Andrew will drive with me. We'll drive right to Fun Spot because Carrie had to go and do something for work that she had to do. So as we're transferring cars, I think Carrie realized she left a bag at my place. And this is like at 12:30, so it's like, she wanted the bag, so I'm like, I figured, hey,
So I
how far away are you from this?
Yeah,
so we from my Logan to my place is 40 minutes or so. And I figured, all right,
direction of heading to Fun Spot.
Yeah. So I figured, hey, we'll get there. we can get through Boston.
So that's another hour 20 on the Dave's trip, right?
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so which again he complained about. And anyway, so we hit some traffic going to my place, which kind of fucked us. So one of the things that about Boston on Friday, like if you leave after like 2:30 or 3, you just get stuck in this traffic. And I kind of knew that. I'm like, oh fuck it. Some people have said I have a lead foot. I don't think I do, but some people have accused me of that in the past. So by the time we got to like the Boston area, it was like 2 o'clock, and we got stuck in that traffic. And then it was just gridlock we got out of Logan, under the tunnel that goes through Logan, and we got to the Zakim Bridge. I'm like, okay, here's where it's going to clear up. And as we went through the Zakim, they said, oh, and traffic is backed up to the Zakim to the border. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I think we ended up getting, that was at like 3 o'clock, and about an hour later, it was 4 o'clock, and we had gone maybe 10 or 15 miles.
You guys were talking about meeting up at Nassau at 2 p.m. or something like that.
Right. And Dave was complaining. So Dave said, I might have to piss during this road trip. So I brought a growler for him so he could piss in that in the back seat.
Well, because when they left me at the airport for how many hours, ladies and gentlemen? 3.
3 hours, I believe, yes.
I didn't really mind that. I just said, hey, that's fine. You guys come whenever you want. I'm just going to drink beer here. I'm going to probably have to pee, though. So, Leo, is there like a place I could stop and pee? And he's like, yeah, sure, there's rest stops and all that. And then I get in, and then he tells me we have to go to his place in the other direction, and then back, and I'm still like, okay, I get to see his place. It's all good. I'm with my friends. And then when we get back to going towards, he did leave one.
You could have driven to Fun Spot from your house
No, I could have. I landed at 9:30. I could have been at Fun Spot by noon.
Drove from your house?
If I drove from my house, it's like 7 hours. So if I drove,
if you count the time that you got to the airport from your house.
Yeah, you're right. I would have been there at 2 o'clock.
So Dave,
Dave, I think there's a lesson to be learned here, and that is quit doing this fucking show up on Friday bullshit. Thursdays.
Thursday. That's right.
Thursday. That's when the party started.
Yeah.
So you can watch sports and shit.
Sports. What were you saying?
By the way, I need to correct Andrew. It wasn't sports. It was sports.
Sport.
It was so mellow and laid back. That's why I lost my shit laughing. Everyone's woo! Sports.
I would have been right there with you doing the same thing.
So Dave, why don't you tell the story about when we got to my place and you saw Carrie's bag? Because that was quite funny.
Because he didn't describe. I thought she left her rollerboard, like with her makeup, women's stuff, clothes, all this stuff. And I get there, and I'm like,
EpiPen.
I thought it was everything for her trip. Like she can't survive without. Like, oh shit. And I look, I go,
it was all for sharp knives, Dave.
No, I go, it's a fucking backpack. What's in this? We couldn't get this later because it's her work computer. I'm like, oh crap. Oh, and you did me
kicker. Yep.
As we were about 2 minutes from Leo's, which was the other direction. I get a text from Carrie that says, "Hey, maybe we could get that on Sunday morning." I'm like, "Now you tell us."
At this point, after like an hour and 15, hour and 20 in the car or something.
But this is before we even turned around and
I
realized.
know, and we knew we had to go to that back.
But the hell hasn't even begun.
I texted as soon as I could think of it while we were standing in line for that rental car. Like, wait a minute, there's enough hours between when everybody's going to the airport. Maybe. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh well, no worries.
So Leo's sneaking only goes so far. He can't sneak through traffic.
No,
there was an hour when I was in the back of that car where I was just looking on my phone. I'm not talking to Andrew or Leo. I'm just mad. I'm just like, I cannot believe this is happening.
Dave's back there and he's like,
I say kill him. Yeah. I say we hang him, then we kill him.
Yeah, I think it was about 2.5 hours later. We were almost back to the airport.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
Meanwhile, we're at the booze store picking up.
That's
Just
all
everywhere.
And we still had another 3.5 hours to go. So we just got stuck in lovely bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Dave just
And-
says,
It's like my plan has worked perfectly. They're all gonna be like,
Now you know what it's like.
Yeah. So we got to New Hampshire, and like I could like Andrew and Dave were. I could tell they want a little something. It's like, yeah, you can drink in the car in New Hampshire. You're fine. Live free and die in that state. So they didn't really fight that much. So they started drinking beer, and then Dave, since it wasn't Bud Light, Dave was bitching about like, oh, this is really strong beer. Like this is a 4.5% beer. I can't drink this shit.
oh, burn!
Like, shut up and drink it.
Flavored water.
Yeah. So then we kind of stopped off. We got some booze. Then we headed to Nassau. We just kind of checked in, and I was just like, thank fucking God. Because I've been, like, I was driving for 3 goddamn days, it felt like. It's just like all over the place. We got there. We went to Nassau. Yes.
which is the sound of driving in Boston, if you're wondering.
Yes. Especially when I'm driving, because, hey,
on my French. Yeah.
That was the only saving grace is I knew these assholes in the front seat were hungover and more miserable than I was.
Dead tired. Yeah, it was just,
I'm like, I know they feel like bags of dog shit.
I bet you wish you're drinking Bud Light last night.
Well, no, and then the killer was when I was at my 3 hours at Boston in the bar, I started to think about Dave Stern's car because they dropped him off because there wasn't enough people to fit in the vehicle. That's why he had to rent a car. He was the last guy on board with the whole deal. And it's like, yeah, you can hang out. The only thing is you're going to have to rent a car because Leo's car can only fit 5 of us. So I'm sitting at the bar and I'm like, what the fuck? Why didn't I just tell Dave to put me on as a driver? I land in Boston. I drive his car to Fun Spot. And you guys don't even have to get up early. Just relax. And they probably wouldn't have forgotten Carrie's bag because they wouldn't have been in a rush.
I was rushing people out to get in the house because I wanted to avoid that traffic and to pick you up because you were being.
And then I mentioned it to Dave when we got to Fun Spot. He goes, "Oh yeah, that would have been a good idea. Why didn't we think of that?" I'm like, I don't know.
There's a lot of second guessing that could have been done about the whole Friday event, but you know, we're not here to talk about the past.
But nothing happened. Right.
I was pretty sure that I was pretty sure by the picture I saw, Dave drank every last can of Bud Light in New Hampshire, and he resulted in drinking green.
Yes.
Yeah. So we should get to that. So,
but it was the treehouse that got us closing.
No.
Yeah, we had to work our way there.
We did a Friday nap.
So when did you actually arrive at Nassau then? What time was that roughly?
6:37. Yeah.
No. It was like 6:10.
Yeah.
We were there earlier than I thought we were going to be.
And was there people there like hanging out waiting for you, or they were just like, screw it, we're going to Nassau?
They posted on Clav. Someone posted on Clav that we were late.
They were in both locations.
Yeah.
They had a win.
Okay.
So
the weather was absolutely beautiful when we got there, which was
nice. Yeah.
It was like.
So wait, do you arrive at the cabin place first, or do you arrive?
Yeah, that's
we went to the cabin first and like checked in, got all the shit out of the car, and then we went to Fun Spot. We did the Saturday net, which we had 20 people for, which was not bad, I thought. So,
and we did have cocktails there on the beach at the Naz bar beforehand.
Yep.
Some of us had more of a chance to have cocktails than others.
And relax. Oh, and Dave, what did you give Carrie that night too? Because you gave her something that time.
Whoa!
Oh yeah.
I should have brought it down. I haven't. I kept it.
I went when Leo was checking in. I'm like, see if they have Post-its. And then from the hotel, and he got me a pad of Post-its. I wrote, "My name is Carrie. I will not forget my red backpack."
Dave, I hung on to that. I'm going to hang that in my arcade. It's one of my.
Frame.
So I brought that home. Yeah, so it's going to be on one little spot with like stickers and magnets, and it's going there.
But it was when we got the Fun Spot for the net. Brian Koo was there, and a bunch of other people waiting.
Brian Koo.
So celebrities show up there.
Yeah.
He was looking for food.
You know.
So
Brian's shoes.
I did.
Sometimes it's Adam Sandler, but you know, no one can match Brian Koo.
Yep.
So, you know.
Him and I actually talked for a while. Like I said, hey, told him about the event. I even, invited him, said, hey, if you want to come by our cabin Friday or Saturday, we're at cabin 21. So then we did the nat. We did Circus Charlie and then
Bank
Bank Panic, which
So that was around 7 or 8 o'clock, somewhere around there.
probably closer to 9 because Bank Panic took a lot longer than I thought with 2 players. It actually people were able to play that.
So you
really well.
You started at Fun Spot at around what time?
Probably a little before 9 o'clock, I'm guessing.
About 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did Circus Charlie, which went pretty quickly, and then Bank Panic almost took us to like 10:45. So I'm like, fuck it, we're just gonna do 2 games. Passed out some trophies, and then we went back to the room, and Evan was drinking. We played a little poker, and then I think Andrew had a very good idea about jumping on a trampoline. So Andrew, if you want to take it over from here.
Love it.
So they had out in the bay, and actually Dave can help out with this story too.
Yeah.
Out near the docks, they had this giant inflatable trampoline, like a trampoline.
Floaters. Yeah.
Yeah, a little floater. And earlier in the night, I walked out to it, and I think Super Stearns was with me, and we were talking about like, could we get out to it? I saw that it was tethered to the side, so there was a rope, and so I started pulling the rope in, and I realized, oh, it's anchored to the bottom, but you could pull on it and get it pretty close to like a jet ski dock. So if you like walk out the jet ski dock, you can then make like a 3-foot jump onto a giant inflatable trampoline. Like perfect, right?
Perfectly good idea after having dozens
I like it.
all day.
It's like, what, it could be like 15, 20 feet across. So it's not like it's a small target to hit. And so I let it go, and it floated back out. And then that thought stuck with me through all the drinks. And then at some point, I was after poker and stuff like that. I think I went up to Dave. What did I say? I think we're going to do something a little bit crazy now. So Super Stearns and I talked about it, and we're like, yeah, let's go do that fucking trampoline thing. And then Dave,
like midnight or something.
Yeah.
Right
around that time.
It was late.
It was like
late.
1.
Yeah, Nat's bar was closed. There was no one on the beach.
There was.
We went to sleep at about 4:30. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been a little late after
Right.
1 would be my guess. And to merely say, oh, a jet ski launch doesn't really adequately describe it, because what it was, and we should have taken pictures of that structure, was it was basically like a
balancing beam.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But not as thick
balancing
as the kind that you would see in the gymnastics. It was
At angles.
and metal. So
Yeah.
it's these metal things.
Like a plank.
I mean,
Yeah.
Dave from Buffalo was like,
Yeah,
oh, that's
probably
easy. I'm
like-
gonna just run off of this, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah, and I
8
think
inches across wide. I mean, it was
and I didn't want to jump on it. So like, seems like a bad dare. Neither did Dave. So I went back to get some drinks because people who were on the raft wanted some. I come back
Imagine that.
Get drinks instead.
I know.
and Dave is in his underwear. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
I turned around and I heard, hey, what's and also Dave's there. And a lot of skin.
Basically naked.
Yeah.
It was
Grays
awesome.
were tighty whities. It was
That may have been the highlight.
boxer briefs.
Black.
We didn't even have to go out on the raft. It would have been great just right there. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. I wasn't going to carry them. I'm like, I'm going to break my arm if I try to walk on this thing. So I
Right.
Yeah, 'cause you have
swam
to
onto the
walk
raft.
Bear
Oh,
out,
you
swim
swam
out, and then leap from that onto the raft. And then, of course, I pointed out, and I'm sure that didn't make any friends at the time. So how do you get back to shore? Because there was no way to leap from the thing onto the metal beams.
Right. Yeah.
So the treacherous part wasn't, it's 3 feet of water. It's like no big deal for water-wise, but the big deal is trying to walk out on this metal thing and then doing the swan dive onto the.
Although, what's his name? Ran and actually ran across the trampoline, and I thought it was gonna tip over on the other end too.
with his phone.
Yes,
Yeah.
with his phone.
With his phone, Chad. Oh,
Chad, yes.
crazy man.
And
Oh,
no one thought that was a good. Even the guys out on the fucking trampoline are like,
Yeah.
no.
Don't put your phone on here. Yeah.
We forgot to mention the Stephen Albany because Andrew made
Oh,
some
yeah.
drinks for people.
Pancakes for everyone.
Pollard, he's on the YouTube chat right now. I think.
Was
Yeah,
that Saturday night or Friday night?
That was
that-
Friday night because that was the same night of the trampoline. Yeah.
I
You did
don't know.
pancake shots again.
Well,
Yeah.
we had one reversal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and who won poker too? By the way, skip past that.
Oh, me and Dave's friend Dominic split. we had split when we got to the end for Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not.
Cool.
And Jimbo and I split for Saturday.
Yeah.
I
That was
lost
the
all
other
my
Saturday
shit.
night.
That was a replay.
And then so then what's his name that had his phone? I'm like, as he was getting out of the inflatable, like was keeping it up in the air. So then of course he goes completely underwater, which his phone is like maybe 6 inches above the water.
We didn't mention that when Andrew went across. You know, Andrew's stride is like 4 meters, and he almost went right over the side.
Yeah.
Well, and we also actually neglected. The reason why I almost went over the side is
It was
not because I
flipped over.
jumped too far. Is no, I don't know. I'm still not convinced it was over. But either way, it was like not fully inflated. And so as
Yeah,
soon as
but you know what though, the
stepped in the middle,
trampoline
you
part
were
is
in
supposed
the
to be on top. You guys were like sinking underneath it.
I think that's because the side. If you look at the pictures, you can see it. The sides are like caved in because it's just not fully inflated.
Does
I think
anybody have a
flipping
picture
that-
they could post up on here?
Flipping that thing over would be a giant pain in the ass. Like ridiculous pain in the ass. It's huge. So I'm pretty sure it just wasn't properly inflated because it was, maybe they inflated it during the day and then at night it gets all soft.
Right, because the ladder was in, and you can climb up the ladder.
That's what she said.
It was hard all day and soft all night.
Gotta pump it at night.
So yeah, so like. So as soon as you stepped in the middle, even a little bit, you're basically in water. So the issue of like getting back dry was a foregone.
I didn't even know it was a trampoline. I thought it was a gigantic life raft. That's what it seemed to me, like something that Titanic would be using.
Weird springs all around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there were some gals
It looked
jumping on it
good.
back during the daylight, back when you were supposed to be playing on the trampoline. Supposed to the 2 a.m. version. But with the great part is, so Chad's standing there. He's walked across all the metal bars, ready to jump, but kind of just hanging there for a while. And we're all like trying to get his phone back. He's like, "It's just a phone." Oh, you're not going to feel that way when you're sober and your phone's gone.
That is a sweet pick, Jack.
He took the flattering pictures of me. That's him. So that's Chad.
Yes,
So
the
he
dancing treehouse green. Yeah.
Great picture.
Dancing baby, Dave.
Yes.
Nobody has a dancing baby, do they? Do you have the dancing baby?
No, I can pull it up, I'm sure, but yeah.
Oh, did you actually share that?
I need to do the
I
side by
don't think
side.
anybody's got it. Nobody's got the dancing baby.
Well, no one has your version of the dancing baby.
Not your dancing baby version.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I just realized there's another kind of like rare thing there. There's me not in a cardigan.
Right. You wearing shorts and a short sleeve shirt?
Yeah. Don't see that happen.
And I can
after that, Andrew was so pumped. He comes back like an hour later after we're back in the cabin. I'm already showered and dried off, but he's just on fire.
When did he lick you? When did he lick your head?
Right.
Right.
Okay, Carrie's showing something. Make
Yeah,
sound,
so
Carrie.
this is the picture that one of the pictures.
sorry,
It didn't come out very well. They're posted on Clav. I mean, this one, and then some of the pictures from that Chad took while he was actually in the raft.
Yeah.
So, but that kind of gives you at least a sense. I don't know if you can see the perilous.
The metal right
bar,
there. Yeah.
there.
Bars there. The crazy balance beam. Nadia Comaneci. Whoa! Yeah.
So how do you get out of it and get onto land?
Well, it's only you're in the little area there. It's like 1.5 feet, 2 feet deep. It's not like it's.
Well, no, I did go underwater when I got out of the thing.
Well, you must have gone out on the far side.
Yeah.
On the far side. I mean, just for a second, and then I was.
So do you put your cell phones in your cabins to make sure they don't get wet and stuff?
A big pile of my shit.
Well, Dave was in his underwear, so I don't know.
I stripped down foam wall on the side. I wasn't about to jump in clothes. If I was planning out, I'm going to swim out there.
Things were not exactly like carefully thought out in the whole thing, but fun was had.
There was a lot of noise. There was a lot of noise, and nobody complained.
There was some kind of pickle shots or something.
Oh,
That was amazing.
What is the
I thought
pickle
for sure
shot?
Nazwa was going to come out.
It was picklebacks.
Pickleback.
That's it. Yeah, I read that. I wanted to know what it was.
This was Dave, just a little bit.
I might be able to share it. Hold on. But the quality.
It was fantastic.
This will be a one-time only.
Oh, one time
Someone needs to present Dave.
every single
One time, I
person,
Yeah, I
every
gotta
person
present
in
this.
NASBAR saw this video multiple times.
That's true.
Yeah,
Oh,
going on
no, at
YouTube.
the Fun Spot Bar.
Or sorry, yeah, it was a Fun Spot bar. You're right.
Fun Spot, yeah.
Let me see where it is. Hold on.
I think it was Chad that showed me that, and I'm like, "Oh my god, it's the dancing baby, except grown up."
I love how this is gonna be a one-time only, but we're recording this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we won't record this. Don't worry.
Oh yeah,
We'll edit this out. We'll edit it
Yeah.
out. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
worry. We'll edit this out.
Yeah, Brad will be right on that.
Don't
Yep.
edit this out.
Yeah. It's already done.
Here we go. Here we go.
Gotta talk.
Can someone give presenting rights to Dave?
Oh no!
You can see that. You can see that blur, right?
Do one more time.
Yeah.
So you're presenting.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, press play.
All right,
Press
here we
what- yeah. Oh, that's
That looks
great.
like
That's awesome.
I would have lost my shit if I saw that.
It's really funny.
Yeah. That was a good 20-second video. That was the full one where he's just dancing in the water. Yeah, that was fun.
That's good time.
Yeah.
That's up there with wreck your pooper moment.
You know what's funny is one of those springs was brought back to the cabin, and the next day I'm trying to figure out how to give this back to the staff. So I just did one of those, like, I'm walking on the beach and I just drop it, like kind of where the staff is. I'm like, all right, if I give this to them, then I don't want to incriminate, or I don't even want to get into it and just say, hey, I don't know, one of my drunk friends last night, this was in the cabin, and I think it was that thing. I just threw it where I know the staff keeps supplies, because they were raking the beach, which they do every morning, and so I was like, all right, it'll get back to them. And I don't have that cabin. The one that has all the smoke in it.
One? Yeah.
Yes, I called the lady who I originally spoke to. She goes, "No, you guys have 23 and 24."
Oh.
And I'm like, I go, well,
nice.
I go, and I complained about the bitch at the front desk, and she's like, I know who you mean. I go, she's the one who told me.
I know
22.
who you mean. That's terrible.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna pass that along. I go, she was ridiculous. I go, she was just like, sorry, it's gonna smell like cigarettes. I'm like, I got a family coming here in 2 weeks. My wife's gonna flip out.
You don't want that. Yeah, no way.
Of course,
Well,
it is
she said
biker week this week, so
Well,
it's
she
gonna
said
be-
she said it's
smell like
actually- it's bike week next week. She says it's blocked off right now until they take care of the problem. She says it's not even. I almost was gonna. She's like, they didn't get charged or whatever. I was just gonna call you guys.
That's what we are worried about. That's why we told them. We were worried
No, I
about
said-
getting charged for the.
No, I said no. It probably happened right before you guys got there, and the maid just didn't say anything because it was somebody was checking in. You.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm pretty
they
sure
didn't-
she came in with some like Febreze, and she's like, "Oh, get it." Yeah.
Yeah, because what are they going to do? Like, oh, it might have been, well, it probably wasn't full, but maybe we don't have another cottage rate to give you right now. And yeah, because that wasn't something. Yeah, she says, you guys don't have that one. So I was like, well, the bitch at the front desk told me I had it on freaking Sunday because I asked. She's
You're
like,
going
"Yeah,
back
you
there
have to-"
again soon?
I'm going back on the 27th. That's 4 nights
nice.
with my family.
Okay.
More trampoline action.
Yeah, well, I'll play more games. The last time I was supposed to mostly spend in the bar.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Every time I saw you, you were down there.
I live down there, but hey, I got $60 worth of tokens from Lawton because he gave it to 2 other people, and they gave it to me.
Nice.
And I'm gonna bring back printed photos for the guy because he's a saint, and he really liked the pictures I showed him. And I'm like, and before we got there, I saw him looking at some prints, and I almost was gonna do it like when we were there. Like, where's the Walgreens? I'm gonna make prints of this, like him and his
Who are
friend.
you talking about now?
The owner of Fun Spot always has drinks on,
Oh yeah.
on Saturday at 3 with his longtime friend.
Oh, okay.
And I've had pictures of like the last 3 years of him and his friends sitting in the same
I do
spot.
remember you hanging out with them for a little bit, a couple years
Yeah,
ago.
I did. I had a video on my YouTube channel. It's it's about 4 minutes long. It's a great video. But there's also the Fun Spot documentary on YouTube, which is pretty interesting. It's about 45 minutes, and it talks about his history.
Yeah,
Plays,
I've seen that.
video.
Yeah, him and his
It's a good
brother.
video, yeah.
The golf course, and it's funny because I brought up the afterburner. They got a full motion afterburner in the place, and I was telling him I went and looked at some in Buffalo, and he says that game he was trying to remember how much he paid. He goes, I think it was something like $12,000.
Damn.
He goes, it was so expensive, but that game made its money back in one summer. He goes, people loved that game. And
Which game was that one again?
The full motion afterburner.
Oh yeah.
I go, people still do.
Yeah,
I go, that's a big fan.
That's a cool game.
Yeah, that alone should bring Sarah out there, shouldn't it? That one of her big games.
That's a great game. I love it.
It's Afterburner 360.
Oh, is that the one she does? Yeah.
It's the R360.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play real quick Afterburner Climax?
No.
You ever seen that? Okay.
Some arcades.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's a sit down arcade game, but it also came out like on home consoles.
The sit-down version it's not like environmental. You just sit and the whole chair moves with the joystick and shit.
Yeah, kind of like
We've got one at the arcade in the Gold Coast. Yeah, I played that.
Yeah, it's
It was
pretty
all right.
fun. Yeah, yeah, Sarah might like that one.
So then there was more drinking happened on Friday. We went to bed again on 3:30, 4 o'clock.
When we actually passed out in our cabin, the lake was lit up. It was like sun was coming up. It wasn't.
Yeah.
The sun wasn't up.
We were expecting John to drop in at any second.
I can't even blame him this year because that year it was like we kept trying to kick him out and
yeah.
It was like a
it wasn't happening. And this time was like, well, fuck, we just did it.
God damn it! Yeah.
So Dave and I ate breakfast. Then we went to we did the Candlepin Challenge bowling event, which was won by Austin, who I think he's a college age kid who was actually really good.
Okay.
And very
with his own shoes and
what time were you guys
balls.
able to make it down there on Saturday after 2 nights of
that
drinking?
started pretty much on time. I think it started around 1 or 1:15ish or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 1 o'clock. Oh, we were there at 1.
We still struggled to get there.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I didn't have any breakfast. I was just drinking a tea and life.
Oh, that's right. We
Yeah.
bought breakfast.
I remember I just couldn't. I was like, no,
Omelet.
I cannot do
Yeah, you
any
couldn't-
of that.
Omelet to
What diner
go.
food was.
I got an omelet to go, and Andrew got some breakfast sandwich. I like melted.
It was. They filled
was
that thing
so
with
hot.
lava. It was crazy. By the time we got to the spot, after taking an Uber,
Yeah.
it was probably like maybe 10, 15 minutes later, we finally found a table to sit down and eat. I opened up and it was still like a billowing smoke coming out.
Put it this
So
way,
hot.
I got an omelet, and you know how quickly eggs cool off, right? And this is like 20, 25 minutes later when we finally sat down, and my eggs were still like, it was like they just came right off the pan. They're still like,
It was like a Starbucks coffee. It was fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Styrofoam out there or what?
Yeah, right. It must be super. They don't have the same kind of regulations we do in
Yeah.
California.
It was nuts.
Yeah. So Austin won that. Andrew actually came in second in the Candlepin Challenge, which was I know.
Oh, sweet.
And
Must have been the reach, you know.
Yeah,
you
I was
let
about
go
to
of the
say.
ball, like,
I basically
3 feet
just
away.
reached down and just like knocked over the ball,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then dropped the ball.
Just like Pluto and Popeye.
Doing like the
One
Shaquille
of these
O'Neal
things.
of Candlepin.
Yes,
Winding
for
up.
those who don't know what candlepin is, that's kind of a New England, Eastern Canada thing. The balls are like kind of like big shot puts almost, but lighter. Yeah.
Bocce balls.
And
Yeah.
they're 12
Yeah.
pins instead of 10. Hence, those folks refer to what we would call bowling.
Oh no, there's
as
10
10
pins.
pin bowling.
No, there's 10 pins in Candlepin.
Oh, there is. Oh, I thought it was 12.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be
Oh,
darned.
no,
Okay,
sorry,
I
yeah,
guess never
yeah.
mind.
No. Yeah, sorry, God, didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah.
No. Well, you corrected my error. Really? Well, there we go. So yeah, never mind.
They're just
I
narrow.
obviously
Carrie
should-
didn't do as good as she thought she was going to.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, Dave had a struggle to get out of last place and he did shout out, "I can't lose to a girl," which was really nice.
And then- Oh.
neck and neck for last
One
place.
of my top 5 Leo moments of all time. Dave gets just barely beats Carrie by like 2 or 3 pins, right? And I'm like, Dave, you can stop sweating profusely now. And then Leo instantly, like, he didn't drop a beat. No, he can't.
Yeah.
Because Dave was telling me, he's like, God, I need to start working out again. I am sweating from doing this. And I'm like, he can stop sweating now. No, he can't.
Oh, he can't. Yeah, he could. Yeah.
It was so funny.
I was laughing about that the rest of the weekend.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh. So
no, you can't. And it was so spot on, perfect with with just the right.
Didn't skip a beat. It was like he was just waiting for it.
Oh my God. That was terrible.
I posted on Slack and I'll post on Club the picture of the mug that we had, which Austin got, and then we started the main tournament. We had 6 games. I kept it very fancy. I just did little sheets of paper with names and scores because we did Jump Bug, Carnival, Dig Dug, Jailbreak, Amadar, and Congo Bongo. So
Jailbreak, like Breakout? What is Jailbreak?
No, that's like an angled car racing one kind of thing, right?
That's the gun. You walk around with you have to. The prisoners have escaped. You have a gun. And then if you save hostages, if you save hostage, you'll get better guns. And then it's a platform though. Like you'll walk around and just like start shooting people. Yeah. It was in the tournament a couple years ago. It was in the tournament 2 or 3 years ago, I think. It may have been Brofest 2 or 3. Yeah.
That's really weird sound.
I'm gonna look that one up.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It was nice because they're all kind of in a little loop we could walk around into. But we had I think we had like 20 people register a score, and then actually one of the kids, the kid that came in third, I think he couldn't have been no more than like he was probably in his 20s or under 20 or under, like 10. So that was cool. That I thought that was really nice, and then we just did the Nat on Saturday, which Carrie, if you want to tell them about your idea for Donkey Kong, because I thought it was a really good idea and really fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I think it could, if we do it again, we can figure out little tweaks to the game. But it was an inspiration from the moment in King of Kong when Steve Wiebe is filming himself and while he's playing
in the garage.
In the garage. And his son, you can see him coming to the screen and he's like, Dad, wipe my butt.
Wipe my bottom, Dad.
Stop playing Donkey Kong.
Yes, exactly. So it was an homage to that. So 2 players, as we always do, team folks up. And it was
so everybody had to take turns wiping Leo's bottom.
I actually had a really good idea, but it was going to get messy.
Yeah.
Sorry for sidetracking it.
Loaded diapers.
Yes, actually involved. I should have brought that down too.
That sounds like an appetizer.
Yes.
I'll get the loaded diapers.
So this one involved a prop, which is I got a infant-sized doll. Actually, it was probably the size of an actual newborn because we know that Shireen was there with her newborn, and they ended up taking the diapers. So in a bag, so I had a baby doll and a bag of disposable diapers. You got points only for changing diapers, not for the score on Donkey Kong. And so you had one person playing while one person changed the diaper. Then you had to tag off, so you never got to change more than one diaper in a row. So you would change a diaper, you run, you tag your partner off, who leaves the Donkey Kong, runs over, changes a diaper, and you get points for.
Cool.
So you want to try to stay alive when you're playing, so that your partner can change the game, can change the diaper. So
right.
I think
if you die, your partner changing diapers has to stop.
Right, immediately.
And wait for it to start playing again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's done on how many diapers you did.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that Andrew and I won that. We were partnered together and we won it. I think we had 14.
Yeah.
You did really well. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple other people who got 12, and a couple of folks who struggled a bit more.
2 groups got 10. You got
10.
12.
Yeah, 2 people got 10. Yeah.
Okay.
You have a table next to you that you put the baby on.
It was a stool.
A
program was a stool.
A chair.
Yeah, it was actually one of the.
It was so funny how like a few of the people were really struggling with the diaper change.
Yeah.
I thought that was the easiest part of the thing, but I don't.
Come on, your typical gamer probably doesn't have kids either. Right?
Well, I don't. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the key was, and Andrew did this too, was just pretending that it was a doll, and not pretending it was him, like actually ripping the fucking thing off and just like
taking it down my shorts.
Yeah, just like not like bashing it. It's like picking up, backing its head on the chair.
The lighting was poor. You had to feel for the tape.
The little tape that's where
yeah. That's the trick.
Yeah.
What about people just walking by and watching this?
I know.
What the fuck?
That was very good. Yeah.
Show me where your uncle touched you or something.
Had to go there.
Did you have anybody asking, what are you guys doing?
Surprisingly, no, because
they just wanted to stay away from us.
No, they took a look and they're like, "I'm out of here."
And Donkey Kong's against like the back wall too.
Yeah.
Well, the last row.
Was that part of the NAT or part of the 6th game?
The NAT. That was the first game of the NAT. The first game.
You don't have any video
after the Candlepin on Saturday.
Oh,
nobody filmed any of
Yeah,
that.
so it was Candlepin main tournament,
And then NAT. Yeah.
Oh,
and
that was the final.
The final NAT.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
That would have been funny to see. I wish you guys filmed some of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I didn't even get any pictures because
I took pictures. Yeah, I took a couple of pictures.
So you had a few pictures of it. Yeah, and that would have been a good one to film. I was trying handing the diapers because I want everyone to have the same advantage or disadvantage. So it was like I so that everybody got the diaper in the same situation as opposed to, some had the tabs closed and had open.
And I wanted to randomly select, like every like 4th diaper and cake it with like peanut butter and Hershey's syrup.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just keep the black lights away.
So you actually have to like have a can of baby wipes, so you have to actually clean everything.
Oh no, I got the skid marks.
Yeah.
Must be Leo's kid.
I think this kid's been drinking.
I know.
You see this shit come out of this thing?
Yeah.
One just randomly sprays you in the face with urine. Smell
Your hands are wet. Your clothes.
Oh.
Big old streamer.
Yeah. Well, they got maybe a Grinkers this year.
Yes.
Don't mind us, Steve.
So then we did a blindfolded space zap, which I thought was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Jimbo had one of my favorite lines too. So, obviously you're blindfolded, so you can't like.
And the gameplay on that is basically it's 4 buttons, right?
Right. The fire button and the fire button. So
yeah.
So Jimbo, when his partner Brandon was like, he goes right, and then he goes your other right, because like without skipping a beat, like clearly, and Andrew had kind of noticed a very and good strategy of that. Like some people would be like left, oh I mean right, just say left, oh right, just like don't even say oh I messed up, because again. They're blindfold. They don't fucking know that. So that's what I did. Yeah. That's what I did with Carrie too. I'm just like left. Oh, up, left. It was. You
just say it as the next instruction because it's like I don't know. They're just blindfolded. They're just playing.
I really like that as a blindfold game because it got
11 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
That was a really. I thought that was super successful. It was simple enough.
Yeah.
It was
chaos.
And it went fast.
It did. It went fast. Because that 4th level is just like up, left, right. Oh shit!
It probably did it go faster than you guys remember playing
Around the World.
It felt faster, but only because you're getting instructions. It's like the first level of Frogger, where it's like that's really fucking easy, but when you got to be blindfolded, it's not so easy.
So.
Yeah, and then we did Fire Truck, and then we had 2 people who tied for first, so they did a Mortal Kombat off for first and second place. Carrie actually took 3rd place on the Saturday night.
And I did. The one thing I remembered to bring downstairs, I didn't bring my baby doll, and I didn't bring the Post-it note, but I did bring my major award. Although I don't know how well it will.
Can someone give presenting rights to?
Yep.
It's a major award.
You guys, it's a major award, just so you guys can see just how beautiful this is. Are these gorgeous? Yeah. This is very fancy.
I can see your dog through it.
I'm fancy. I'm the award. I'm the
best. So yes, many thanks for the beautiful.
Yeah.
Who made that?
I had a company local to me make that.
So, that's very cool.
Yeah, we had We passed out 9 trophies, like the 3 for the main,
Oh,
3
damn,
for
that's
Friday night, 3 for Saturday night, and then 1 for the bowling. And I think 8 people got a trophy. So like there was a lot of people that actually got
Wow,
like
that's good.
a trophy or something. Yeah, out of the 10
That's
that we
really
passed
cool.
out.
How
Yeah.
many people played the Nat thing?
So on the first night we had 20. On the second night we had 12.
Which is actually way more than when we walked into Fun Spot. I was expecting like 6 people, and all of a sudden, I'm like, holy fuck!
And especially given it
we're
was late and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it was.
You
So
guys
then-
got a following now.
Yeah. Then the best event
The
happened
sneakers.
on the best event happened on Saturday. So we were playing poker for a little while, and Dave ordered 8 pizzas from Domino's because people were hungry. So
Wait, what time is this?
this is Saturday night. Dave ordered a bunch of
Yeah,
pizzas.
not-
Like
Around what
9,
time?
10?
9, 10, yeah.
Yeah, very late.
Yeah,
Right.
we were
Yeah.
gonna do hot dogs, but we decided it was just too much because we would have had to leave and then get the dogs. We were
Right.
kind of behind because of the Friday thing. So
Right.
I got back and I'm like, there's a fucking Domino's. I haven't eaten because I just drink all day. And then I'm like, I'm gonna order pizzas for everyone. I'm like, it's Domino's. It's cheap as shit. 8 pizzas was like $50. So I ordered like a gazillion pizzas. So they came and we all ate, and then we started to play cards. So the pizzas were probably right about 10:30, 10 o'clock. So everybody kind of ate their fill of pizza. There was still a ton left. We're playing cards, and then all of a sudden at 10 after 11, who walks in? Brian Koo.
We hadn't seen him since Friday afternoon, Friday night. And I said, hey, we come by Friday or Saturday. Nothing on the main to him, nothing on the nat.
Uh-huh.
As soon as he sniffed out that pizza, it's like, hey guys, how's it going? And we all gave each other a look because we were playing poker. Like, hey Dave, there's hey
Brian.
there's some true Brian, yeah. There's some pizza in there. It's like, oh yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
So he grabs a whole pizza box, like a
all right, see you guys later.
I saw the picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he was like a pack of wolves. Just,
I love
Dave,
how
he was
on the
sniffing.
picture-
he was sniffing, Dave.
He was sniffing.
I loved how on the picture of the pizza box it says fucking free pizza on it.
It
It
was
looked
weird.
like he got a better pair of shoes too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
super
saw
better.
that. Yeah, new
His
shoes.
shoes were fine.
The shoe fund.
and then,
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
no, Leo, you say it. You go on.
Then after he finished the pizza, I think Super Stearns, Andrew, Jim, and Carrie bought some like snacks, and some were open, some were not, and he just kind of grabbed this bag of snacks and just like
Brand new, unopened.
I shit you not. It was like a party-sized bag of chips, and I couldn't help it. I'm like, hey, it's Brian Koo with the bag of chips. I think he just ignored me.
yeah. Oh, but
So
when
he
he
didn't
first
play
walked
any
in,
games at all with you guys.
he did the nat on Friday.
Okay.
Yes, that was
Okay.
it.
So you did
Yeah.
participate a little bit.
Oh, that's
Right.
cool.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and he did enjoy it, and he said he'll be there, for years future now that he knows what we're doing. But it was just so, like 5 minutes after pizza shows up, he walks in and
If
just
there was a
Crazy.
look.
stereotype for Brian Koo,
I know.
he'd
Yeah.
right into it.
He
And
did.
Wait. Somebody for our listeners that don't know who Brian Koo is, go see the King of Kong documentary, which is real popular.
Hamburger.
Yeah, and he has a real famous scene in the movie. I'll just leave it at that.
Where he says there's a kill screen coming.
Ain't coming out.
Yeah.
Right. And a
Spoilers.
scene from
spoiler alert.
Brofest a couple of years ago
Oh.
too, which someone wants to tell
Yeah,
that.
that's
I
right.
have
We
to
love
pee.
it.
I have to pee then.
And as Necros says, his foodar is strong.
Yeah, it's food art. That's great. Well, he
Food
had a
art.
great sense of humor, though, because for those of you who are on Clav, which I'm guessing is most, if you've seen the thread, there's a series of 3 pictures. So he's getting pizza, and somebody's like, you gotta get a picture of somebody needs to get a picture. So I snapped it.
It's a great picture.
I snapped a couple of pictures, but then I took the one picture where he was in the kitchen, and he walks out with the pizza, and then he kind of poses for me, and he goes, "Do you want to get a picture of me coming in?" So he set the pizza down, and he reenacted the scene the photo where he's walking in the door. So he had a great sense of humor. He played along. It was awesome.
We
As
should
long
get
as
some-
it's fucking free food, he doesn't care.
Right? I know.
That
I
could
didn't get
be-
a chance to get a picture of him with the chips, though. I'm sorry.
It could be a picture for his next Walter Day card. Walter
Yeah.
Pizza.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the free pizza.
The food sneak.
There's nothing sneaky about it.
Yeah, you should totally just send that to Walter Day and
this
see if he
year.
makes a card out of it.
I've got to hit him up with cards in a couple of weeks, so I'll hit him up actually.
You just can't make this stuff up that he walked in like that. I'm like,
There's a
yeah,
Dorito bill coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the day before when there was, snacks, but not that much, not so much. But
Nope.
put out the smell of the fresh hot pizza.
He sniffed it. He definitely sniffed it. He was sniffing.
Rudar.
Really? So he can smell what the toppings were before without opening the box? Or?
Yeah.
He just pops out of the bushes.
I know. Yeah.
I think I
It's like pepperoni. I'll take that one,
Yeah.
Hey, orange balls. I have a box of those.
I had him dead in my sights, and he was going to town on that pizza. He was starving. He's really nice. I'm a big fan of Brian.
Yeah.
If you're listening,
Yeah, I mean,
this is all good fun, buddy.
it's a
We
fun
love
story.
you.
It's a funny
You're a
story.
real nice guy. And
Oh,
you're
yeah,
more than
absolutely.
welcome. I'll buy you pizza every single day if you come by and hang. 'Cause you're a good guy.
It's a
Don't drive to
$6
Buffalo if
well
you say that.
invested.
Yeah.
such a great follow-up to the original omelet story. Then the next year was at our cabin where he was taking
Nuts and snacks. Yeah.
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 He was eating my food. The first year, he's eating my food off the fucking beach
That's
too.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your bag of sun chips.
Yeah. I mean, my bag of sun chips just fucking disappeared. I look over and Brian Q's fucking snacking on my sun chips.
You know what's so classic is I'm listening to old Arcade Outsiders episodes. I just kind of started at one, and a lot I don't remember. And the episode I was listening to today was the first when John went with Greg from Arcade Impossible, and they had Brian Q back at his cabin, and he's just talking about how like they begged him to come back, and then the first night was just too hammered, and we got to have him again because we can't use this footage because they were all drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the picture. What's this girl holding a baby that's crying while she's playing a game?
Yeah, that was Dave's friend Dominic's wife.
Yeah.
That was actually
Donnie's
the
wife.
most uncrying baby ever.
Yeah.
That was really
Everybody
good
was
baby.
so
Yeah.
Oh, it was
quiet.
such,
Oh, it was
yeah.
fantastic.
The
Yeah.
baby's only 2 months old, and they got
The funny thing is
it's
that
sleeping then.
their baby was the exact same size as the changing baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why they took the diapers.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
So they ended up taking the diapers, and it was funny
Nice.
because when at the end of the Nat thing, I walked up and I offered. I said, because we didn't use most of them. We used probably about 15 of them, and so I bought a bag of 44. And so like, oh, would you like these other ones? And then I had the old ones that we'd used to change. I had in a separate plastic bag, and I was just going to toss them because. I'll take those too, because she's just gonna shit in them.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's like gold if you have a kid.
Exactly.
Diapers
Yeah.
are expensive.
You go through
Yeah,
them
they were
like
in their travel
crazy.
trailer, so yeah.
They had a really cool, like the old Shazam live action series trailer. I wanted to go back, and I'm like, dude, you got? Oh, that's nice. But he said he was taking a trailer, but I was figuring he's got the F-150 with the. I'm like, you got the driving trailer, the whole camper van. I go, I'm digging it.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Dave
cool.
comes back. Who wants to ride with me? I'll take the couple.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the couple will come with us. Oh my god, they were so nice. They were.
Yeah, they were.
Amazing.
Everyone was nice at that event. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually kind of a funny story. So I had texted Shireen that picture of that I posted on Clav of her playing Bank Panic holding the baby, who had been super quiet right up until about the time that I went to take a picture. And I think she had just said like, "Oh yeah, she's being so good," or "She's asleep," or something like that. And then it's like,
Yeah.
but but so I texted that to her, and yesterday I received a text from her saying. That somebody they were on the boardwalk there at Weir's Beach, and someone walked up to Donnie and asked him what his Clav handle was. Apparently, they recognized him because of the picture because they recognized the baby. So apparently, it's all sorts of clovers there on Weir's Beach.
He's a really good guy, and it was funny because he had bought a game off of me, and then we've done some trades and stuff. And when I first met him, he drove from Rochester. It's only an hour away, and he goes, "I got to ask you, are you the Dave from Buffalo?"
The Dave.
Because from this and and Coin Rejects. He heard because they were talking about after Breakers, he had listened to Coin Rejects as well, and Jordan had mentioned me, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that's me. I'm like, wow, that's cool, and you're like a local dude.
This is
No,
not a
I
celebrity.
had two people that that when I thought I was meeting them for the first time said, "Hey, Jim," and
I've done that.
and I'm like, motherfucker, I feel like an asshole. I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's like Chad, that guy Chad 2 years ago at whatever it was. He goes, "Hey, is cousin Brian here?" I'm like, "Huh?"
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Yeah, that is weird though. 'Cause they know you from the show.
No, it's Sam from Colorado, Andrew's buddy. He goes, "Yeah," he goes, "I know who you are, Dave. I'm a stalker."
That's funny. Cousin Brian should have been here. Should have been there.
Yeah, he should have been.
Yeah, I said he would have liked the whole. He likes beach and like the lake and all that.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's just work. He couldn't. He's talking about maybe going to Breakers, but
I hope so. Hopefully there's no maybe about that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's,
yeah, because
you can't dispute that one.
No,
that's not negotiable.
Yeah.
I think we have one more story that Dave should tell. So we leave Sunday, and we make it in like great time compared to how long it took us to fucking get there.
Amazing time.
And so Dave flies standby. So we got there like a little after 1, and Dave was going to get on a Delta or United flight at 2. And Dave, if you would like to take over the story, please do.
Sure. So we did make a great time. We got to the Delta terminal, which I was taking, and we got there about 5 after 1, and the line was crazy for the security. So I actually tried to ask someone. I go, "How long do you think this is going to take?" Because if they said an hour, I wasn't even going to wait. I was just going to go to JetBlue. Oh, I'm sorry, burping. JetBlue, because the next one's at 6 o'clock. I just don't want to waste all my time for a 2 o'clock flight. I'm not going to get on. And he's like 15, 20 minutes. So I'm like, whatever. I start waiting in the line. It's moving very fast. It was there was a million people, but we were moving. So I got up to the, like, right before you're going to put your bags on the thing. It's maybe 1:30-ish, maybe 1:35, and my gate is close. You know, I'm looking at to right where we go outside security, and this family of 3 comes rushing, and was like, "Excuse, they were international people. The two parents couldn't speak."
No, Dave, don't censor yourself. Give the fucking story. Otherwise, we'll make it worse. Otherwise, we'll make it worse.
Yeah. So that international enough.
So it was an older Asian couple who didn't speak English.
Canadian.
But it's just ironic because they're like shoving like excuse please, you know, and they got to get to the front, and the parents are speaking English. The girl was maybe in her early 20s, and I'm like, and then the people behind me are like, what the fuck? Like they're pushed, you know, they got it, and I'm like, hey, where are you going? Like, and they're going, I'm going to Buffalo. We're at Buffalo. I go, you know what? So am I. And I'm like, you know, all right. But at this point, there wasn't any. I'm like, it's gonna be quick. But so they were in front of me. They had a ton of bags, or they had bags that they were taking stuff out of. It just took forever. And then they got the extra check, and so did I for my freaking arcade tokens from all that change. I had like 60 tokens, and that's what stood up. But so they got like tons of extra checks. So I literally, after, like, that was 3 extra people, and the people behind me is like, man, I can't believe you let them go through. I'm like, or like, you didn't, because we were going to the same place. And my flight was at 2 o'clock as well. Like, everyone else may have been, you know, later. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. So, and I get, in fact, it's funny because in Boston, everything's kind of automated the way they have that's the first airport I've seen that, where they must just hit on the scanner, they hit a thing, and it flags you put every single bag in a bin, and then they must just hit it, and then it's going through like a conveyor belt. Then when your bag comes, it either goes down or it shoves it off to the side, like an automated thing. And then mine got there and it got shoved off to the side, and I literally raised my hand and hit the thing because I could not believe that my bag's getting flagged, and I'm like, it's like 1:45. And for people who aren't familiar with the airlines, you know, the flight takes off at 2. They're shutting the gate at 10 to 2.
Yeah,
you know, that's when it's leaving. So it's like
exactly what happened to me going to Denver.
it's 1:45. So I get through, and you know, she finally the token. So I'm running to the plane with my shoes. I didn't put my shoes on with my socks.
Yeah.
And I'm running, and I look. There's no agent at the gate. I look down at the jet bridge, and they're pulling that curtain back from the plane, and they're pulling the jet bridge. And I look down at I look at the ticket counter, and then there's my boarding pass with the first class seat. So I would have gotten on it, and then the family comes a few minutes later, and I see him from a distance, and I'm going to the daughter like this. No, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. And then she comes over, and I go, look, I missed this flight as a direct result of you, the three of you, cutting me. Like, I would have made this.
Yeah.
You know, I literally missed it by like a minute. Like, the guy was just gone, and then, you know, I calmed down. They said they were sorry, like, you know, whatever. It's just, but what do you do? I guess you just don't let anybody cut you. Or I should have just spoken up like, listen, we're going to the same place. You go behind me, ask them if they want to. That's what I should have done. Like, I'm going to the same place you got 3 of you. I'm by myself. If I get there, if they can hold it, I'll let them know.
Right, with one check on. Yeah, well,
yeah. I have one bag. It doesn't, you know, whatever. It doesn't even mean bags, but it was just the time. Like, I'm like, I got here at 1 o'clock. What the hell time do you guys get here?
Right.
That's but to give them something, they may have come from an international destination, and since you're going to a different airline, you have to get your bags and then come over. But if that's the case, then the airline should have some kind of like Trump pass, like show this when you get to TSA. They'll push it through the pre-check line or something because your flight was late. It's not your fault or something. But yeah, so I ended up. It worked out. I got home. I took a flight 4 hours later. But I got to hang with my friends and JetBlue.
We sat at Wahlburgers and had a bunch of beers.
Yeah, it was just frustrating because I'm like, I cannot believe this is the way this just happened.
Because it was just so close. Yeah,
3 of them cut me, and I would have made it because it took forever for those 3 in front of me to go. It was like, oh my God, like, what did I just do? Why did I let them cut me? Because this is forever. There's so many bags, and they're all going through, and they're getting checked. And then mine was held to get checked. If it wasn't held to get checked, then I could have beat them. But it was just, they apologize. It's not the end of the world, but it's just a lesson learned, and never do it again. If somebody's rushing, I'm going to say, what time's your flight? And then, okay, if, you know, I got, you know, but we were on the same damn flight.
Right.
Yeah.
No cuts, no butts, no coconuts.
They're cute. They're cuddly.
And they're easy to please. Yep.
Well, you were still home before we even left the airport.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Shit.
Yeah,
What's the flight
you got your text
from,
message. And you're like,
so was I.
Yep.
It's only like an hour flying time. It's maybe blocked at like an hour and a half, but from takeoff, from wheels up to wheels down, we took off real quick. So yeah, I was home, and then it worked out fine. I was just worried about. I'm like, oh my God, but security JetBlue was like 15 minutes. Not as big as a Delta. It was like literally when I got over there, I'm like, I was in and out in 15 minutes, and I was 15 minutes at Delta. And I just didn't want to go through that again. In fact, I called JetBlue because my wife works for an airline, and so I'm going standby. I'm like, you guys have seats, right? Because otherwise I'm just going to sit here at Delta because I didn't want to deal with security again. And they're like, no, man, you're good. If you go over, you're fine. So it worked out. Yeah.
I mean, when Dave and I got to the airport and into security, it was like crazy. It was like Dave was like 20 people ahead of us in line. I'm like, what the fuck? We're supposed to be gone.
Super Stern Dave, you and
Super Stern Dave.
Okay. Super Stern David, who's wearing a T-shirt that says "Savage as fuck."
Savage as fuck.
Yeah,
that's what he flew in.
Love it.
Yeah, Savage as fuck with sandals. And that beard. I just couldn't stop laughing thinking about it later. I just love it.
That's great.
Yeah, Stearns. I like Stearns.
Yeah,
he's a good man. Yeah. He likes to party.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I've been drinking for 4 days straight. Okay, let's go have more beers.
Checking out Gak's beer.
I was showing Mr. Rod McLarge my He's telling me I need to have another beer. So I'm like, all right, I'll have a big sticky.
Nice.
I picked this up in Idaho, actually.
Oh, speaking of Idaho, check out IRC. Yeah, Mr. Idaho's in there.
You know, my daughter's in 5th grade and she had to learn the states, and so we were doing. And one of them was the state test was Idaho, New Hampshire. Were on her state test, which my wife said she did well, and she did pretty good. Well, I'm like, this is where Daddy goes to Grinkers, and this is Fun Spot.
Yeah. So I'll probably drop in a couple minutes in this, but thanks for everyone for coming. Like, I had a blast hanging out with all of you guys, and
by the way, Leo, you've got the most powerful shower head.
Oh my god!
Really?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I was able to like wash all of my hair in like 15 seconds flat.
Like, to just blast it off.
Oh yeah, and it was high too. It was a good height.
It's one of those exfoliating showers.
Yeah, pretty much.
You just have no skin afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, you're clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's obviously no drought there. There's, don't have to worry about putting all the restrictors on there like we have here.
No. Yeah. Oh no, fuck that. They have a program where
out here in California.
Oh yeah, and I left my shampoo there, so I don't know. Help yourself. It's the green one.
Oh, it's the little green one.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yep, I know that.
Itty bitty one.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed not to have that at Nassau, but whatever. Like,
yeah.
The Nassau showers are
miserable. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm trying to comb out my hair in the shower, and I'm like, bang in the wall each time. Ugh.
It's like a 70-year-old guy peeing with prostate problems.
Yeah.
You can't even wash your feet because you can't lift your leg up without smacking into the wall.
You're eating your knee.
Swim in the lake.
I gotta piss.
They're a little bit better in the hotel rooms.
Is getting to
So
the hotel room
now we
has
all
an
need a
actual
pee.
shower. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Leo and Dave, you guys
cabins
both went last year, also, right?
Me and Dave went last year for
Like,
the.
Carrie, Jim, and Andrew did not.
Yeah.
So with skipping a year, did you guys notice? I mean, I heard Andrew say LCD screens on a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any other significant differences you noticed at the arcade?
Not really. Oh, did you guys already talk about the game
now, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would say it was probably still the same. You know, I mean, Wacko still had a grindy ball, and I mean, it wasn't.
There were
like
a lot of
wow,
dark
this is an amazing job.
monitors.
Yeah, it's not Grinkers, but
it's definitely not Grinkers. Yeah.
I did run into Gary there, Gak.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Friday we arrived, I was like, "Well, hey, Gary, how you doing?" And he's like, "I had no idea you guys were coming." Like,
yeah.
That's why it's called Sneakfest.
Yes,
Sure, that's exactly the reason.
That's 100% the reason why. Yep, absolutely.
So John didn't even try coming or anything. Like he was.
No, I texted him before, but he's off to the Southern Fried next week.
So
he's going there again. Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Which I think he did that 2 years ago, also.
Yeah, he did it one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When he got his card. Yeah.
So two quick stories we kind of glossed over. The first one is the pancake shots and Steve from Albany.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We didn't actually finish that story. So
no, it's one of the top. Steve from Albany, if you're listening, we love you, buddy. It was hilarious.
It was a good minute.
I will admit that I neglected in retrospect to tell him that you can just sip this shot. You don't have to like shoot it. Most of us do just shoot them because it's a shot, right? But like you don't.
But I did talk about that. I talked about it quite a bit. That I sip it, and that, if you listen to me at all,
those are good size shots.
But none of us
He didn't catch that. So either way, he tried once. And then he like took it and like started going back, and he's like, no.
Well, everyone was watching.
Lean forward and like heave just a little bit, and we're like, oh god. And then he went for it again. And I don't even know how much of it he actually drank, but it was like not much, just the Jameson butter shots part of it. I don't even know if he got the orange juice at all. But we didn't explain that. It's like, well, Carrie, obviously he didn't get it, but like, that's like
he would just not to drink it like a girl. I don't know.
Could be he was looking around, look at the room. It's like, oh, are we just on an inner tube again tonight? All right, I'll do another shot.
Yeah. Exactly.
I had to leave the room because I'm if I see somebody thrown up, it's like that's just
Oh, he gets
he barfed it up in a solo cup.
Yeah.
You got the smell.
So good.
When people barf, it makes me laugh.
I assume, he probably never drinks.
I think I always crack up when I see.
He was smiling after he did it, like he was happy. He was like he knew we were laughing.
Was he having beers with you guys?
No, he was drinking Coke. He drank Coke the first night. I don't know what he was juice or something the next
So he
night.
doesn't drink much to begin with.
Not a
so,
lot.
yeah.
No, yeah. And that was a good size shot.
It's
too.
understandable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he did like half a shot and he goes,
Yeah. The first time, I would say, like as soon as it touched his lips, he started kind of heaving a little bit. The second time,
How
he
could you?
yeah.
They taste so fucking good, though, those pancake shots. They're
Right.
amazing.
Well, I didn't
It's
know
like
that's
candy.
what you guys are. That's what guys were doing. I'm like, why does the table smell like maple syrup?
Yeah. Oh, they're so young.
So the
Danny,
other one that was a
sorry.
question was picklebacks.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
So the was it Saturday night? Yes, I think it was Saturday night. Dave Super Stearns and was it Chad? Was the other guy that was like they were going on and on about picklebacks, and I was like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?" So it's apparently it's a shot of Jameson, and then you back that with a 1 ounce shot of pickle juice.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
That's gross.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah. All right. So we asked the bartender, and she was like, "Tits McGee." She was like, "We don't have any pickle juice. Why would we have pickle juice?" I was like, "Well, do you have pickles?" There's pickles in the restaurant, and she's like, "We don't have pickle juice." And she's like, "We were trying to convince her." Like, she's like, "Maybe I can go upstairs to the restaurant and see if maybe, we can put some pickle juice together." And she wasn't really having it though. She wasn't on board with our idea here. And she's like, "What do you guys want it for?" We explain it, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever."
You guys are stupid.
After, which I felt stupid because I was like, I don't know about this in the first place. I'm like, pickles are all right, but I'm not like a pickle guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like crave.
Yeah, it's like if it's on the plate, maybe I'll have a bite or two. But
I could really go for a pickle shot right now.
I don't. Yeah. You know how people are like? There's some people who are just like, dill pickles. They'll like grab a whole dill pickle like a cucumber, just fucking,
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
definitely do
delicious.
that. Yeah. I agree.
All right, so we go back to the table, and our waitress, whose name was the guy was screaming.
Liz.
Liz. So some drunk guy was screaming Liz across the bar the night before. But anyway, so he's
a dick.
She was like, "Well, what were you guys talking about at the bar? What was that whole?" And we were like, "Well, we were looking for some pickle juice." She's like, "Hold on." 60 seconds later, she comes back with like a pint glass full of pickle juice. And we're like, "What the fuck, Liz? Amazing!"
Nice.
So
post
go
a
back
picture
up,
in our chat.
yeah, go back up to the bar and like set the pickle juice pint glass on the bar and just like kind of make awkward eyes at the bartenderess at Tits McGee. And she's like, "Where the fuck did you find pickle juice?" I was like, "Liz, talk to Liz. Apparently she can get shit done. I don't know about you, but, but what I need is 3 shots of Jameson." So she pours it, whatever. And so basically what it is like Jameson, which is a pretty fucking smooth whiskey. Irish whiskey. Basically all it does is like, so you shoot the Jameson and then you back it with the pickle, and the pickle juice blasts every bit of flavor that Jameson's has, and it's just pickles.
Oh, really?
So, pickleback is a shot of pickle juice.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste my time.
You did get Jameson before, but there's no there's no special flavor that like, oh my god, it turns into cotton candy in your brain.
Right.
Yeah.
It is no pancake shot.
What is in the pancake shot again? So I can buy the stuff to try it here and show my friends.
It's Jameson's and butter shots. So just a butter scotch schnapps.
Schnapps. Okay. So it probably cost me about $80 here in Australia.
Roughly. and then orange juice.
Yeah, right.
And so you go 50-50 on the Jamesons and butter shots, and then a full 1 ounce of the orange juice in a separate shot glass.
Yeah, I remember having
and then drink, and then so Jameson with the orange juice.
So I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, I went to that barcade in New York, near Times Square.
Yeah, I remember you were doing the live
I was
feed.
hanging out with you guys that night.
Yeah.
So they had a drink there that night that was if you bought a beer, they had a side special, and it was like $3 more, and it was like a pickle juice infused. I want to say it was Jack Daniels or something like that. Like they mix,
I've heard of pickle vodka.
Wow.
Pickle vodka I could do.
Yeah.
And that was your side. It was like probably a 3-ounce thing. It was more than a shot.
Oof.
But you have a beer and then this other drink chaser. I'm like, oh, I got it. Yeah,
Oh.
of course. Right?
Of course. I like that. You make the face and you're like, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was only $3 more.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is interesting. Because it's really salty, right? The pickle juice.
Yeah, it's just briny.
Brine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good with the pickle, but
Yeah, so if ever
drink
the
it.
taste of maybe Steve from Albany should have done a pickle shot, but if you're ever afraid of the taste of Jameson's very smooth whiskey, just drink a bunch of pickle juice afterwards. You'll be fine.
There you go.
There you go. Kill the taste of that.
If the first shot doesn't make you puke, the second one probably will.
Exactly.
Oh, it tastes. Oh, it doesn't sound good.
No, doesn't.
Definitely for the pickle lovers out there.
And so that was Friday night or Saturday night? Which night did you guys do that?
I think that was Saturday.
I think that was Saturday sounds right.
At the Nassau bar?
Yeah, NASCAR.
Yeah.
So I want to hear what Dave thought about Green from.
Yeah,
Frito.
no, actually, I think that was the first night, but whatever.
What?
I think that was Friday because you had gotten where the pickle thing came up is you had because you had gotten a sandwich and had the pickle, or somebody did, and maybe it wasn't you, had the pickle, and it was like, hey, you guys do have pickles, because we had Liz as our waitress. The next day we did not have
that's
Liz.
right,
We had
we
somebody
did.
else. We sat at a different table.
There you go.
Sorry, weird memory.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's an important fact. It was Friday night, without a doubt.
Without it, yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to head out because I'm not feeling 100%.
Yeah,
but-
I'm actually I'm gonna get some sleep as well too. So talk to y'all next week.
Well,
Thanks,
Mark,
guys.
Hopefully come back better next week. And Leo's in for hosting that, putting that together.
Yeah.
And
Sounded like a good time.
Yeah.
Leo, once again, amazing, dude. Your house, like the game pad that you have there, that's the bachelor's dream kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
You were such a great host. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It
Hey,
was-
thank you all for coming out. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You have a lovely fridge.
The imperial stouts.
Yes.
We drank on delicious. Oh my god.
Yeah. We'll they'll be back next year. So thank you all for coming, and I had a blast hosting it, and had a great time seeing you all. Just next year, hopefully we'll be less fucking driving because that was bad. Cool. Night, everyone.
All right, see you later.
Later.
Toodaloo.
Oh.
There you go. Pickle
There you
stage.
go.
Pickle stage.
Yeah.
Well,
So, Dave, what do you think of the Green?
I don't remember.
yeah. You gone at that point.
I was drinking Treehouse in the car with Andrew that first day.
Yeah, that wasn't green though. That was something else. What was that?
Yeah, it was something light. Yeah, I just drank it because they gave it to me. After, you know how many Bud Lights I probably had?
Yeah, if your flavor palette is Bud Light, that stuff has to be just like so overwhelming. The
Must
flavor.
be amazing, though. You just feel like,
Oh, I mean, that was at 1 a.m. I probably had at least 25 in me by then.
nice. Awesome. No, that's good. No, that's great.
Maybe 20. Maybe 18. I'll say 18.
You ran out of Bud Lights, in other words.
No, I had a bunch in the bar, and then
It's not what Leo brought down.
we had a ton, and I had a ton of Bud Lights still left. I didn't
Like a
even
30
finish
pack.
it. Yeah, I bought a 30, but we didn't have that much time in the room.
Right.
You know, it was mostly at the. So what am I drinking? I drank 5 each night, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9. Even if I drank 10, it was probably 10 left.
How many?
Yeah.
10.
10.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was definitely a good time. It was fun. I wish I spent. I'm regretting myself that I didn't like the Nat. I went down to grab a beer the second night, and then
And you didn't get out of there.
Yeah, well, I came back up to you guys need me for Space App, and then they're like, no, we're good. We got everyone paired. I'm like, all right, then that's cool. I played Space App before, so I ran back down to the bar like an alcoholic, and then then I'm like, oh, you played Fire Truck? Like I should have been up there because I like Fire Truck. I thought that was
Someone
fun.
actually said that. They're like, because we were talking about rules or something like that, and someone's like, well, Dave would know. He's
Yeah, or how it worked. I mean, what like some of what the tips were. Yeah.
I only played it once, but I mean, it was just high score. I was partners with who was I partners with? Breakers.
Was it Till?
Breakers.
No, it was Till and Time Runner.
Time Runner,
yeah.
I can't remember who I was partners with.
they were on some other level. I don't know what the fuck.
That was crazy. Yeah. That was insane. Time Runner was all hammered.
They couldn't make a fucking mistake.
And Jimbo, you and I were right after them too. And we fucking
we're
sucked.
studying. We're like studying them. We're like, okay, we got this. We have it down. We got like 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were both like frantic, but like in control, kind of like, the Time Runner and his partner.
Timer was hammered that day too.
Yeah, he was doing amazing.
I don't know if he was in the YouTube chat earlier. I'm not sure if he's in there now, but yeah, that was fun.
Gak, when do you move? I mean, when's the official date? I mean, you're packed up.
About 11 days, I think, is what it is. Yeah, we got a bunch of patched.
That's what I was just going to ask you.
The new buyer of our house, like specifically stated, that office area, please take down all the shelves and patch any holes in the wall. Because it was like overbearing. My wife, it was pretty funny because I wasn't here for a lot of the walkthroughs people would do. And, because my wife was around earlier in the afternoon. And she's like, if there was a husband with him, he would walk in your office and be like, wow, this is cool. Like all this BMX stuff and like I can see video game stuff, And then the women walk in there and they're like, oh God, you're just like shaking their head.
You don't have to paint, right? They just want you to pass the walls just so they can throw.
They're like 3/8-inch holes from the anchors they had on the walls from all those shelves and stuff. All right, I patched them up.
I got the same here. I've got to move out of here in 7 weeks. Yeah, and I put shelving up, I put TV on, and I put carpet in here, and I'm renting this place.
Oh,
and
man.
The chick, she comes in, she's like, oh, you got to take it all down. And then the husband comes down, and he's like, oh, can you leave the shelving and everything like that? Because they're going to go sell the house anyway, and this is the garage. So they're like, oh, someone can put all their tools and shit on. I'm like, yeah, I'll leave it. I have no problem. And so I'm not patching up any of the holes anyway.
So 2 weeks from today, I'll be in the new house. And we should, if all goes as planned, we'll be completely moved in there, but not organized, I'm sure. But I'll try to do from my phone, like a walkthrough, For the front of the house, I'll go show the garage, the backyard, and then go up to the game room. Fingers crossed, I'll have at least one game in there, maybe two. We'll see. So, that's a big part of it for me, having an actual game room in the house. So,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Gak, did you have heat in your garage before, or did you just go out when it was?
I got the insulated panels for my garage door. That's as far as I got. I considered getting a portable unit, for air conditioning and heating, but it's freaking hot in the summer in Sacramento. It is like 100+ degrees. Probably freaking half of the summer here.
So it's not even the winter. You were great. You could put a jacket on, but summer it's unbearable.
Yeah, summer's unbearable. The winter, it's not Denver or Minnesota cold, but it gets pretty cold though. I mean, you can see your breath when you go out there. So, yeah.
No, in summer I have to open all the shed doors and the garage doors on mine just to keep it cool. With the games on, it's fucking terrible in here.
Yeah,
it's really hot. But winter freezing. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Did you have that phone interview?
No, he didn't call. That's why I started drinking. Yeah, that's it. I gave him till it was meant to be 2:00. I gave him till 1:45.
Wait.
And then so
Hey, can we talk about what you do for a living? Is that cool? Because I think you put it in the chat.
Yeah. Now
So you repair vending machines?
That's what I'm doing now. That and filling them. Yeah.
Like the modern stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously.
What
what breaks on them? Does a lot of stuff break on them, or is it no? It's not. It's more just like
mainly just coin mechs and the compressors and stuff like that. And when it comes to the compressors, we pull them out and send them away. But it's really just little things, or people just kicking them and rocking them, and stuff like that to just try to fix them up.
So like soda machines and stuff. Mostly?
Yeah, soda machines, and now we're getting the they're called a combo, which does chocolates, chips, and soda. All three, and they actually cool at different levels as well, so different temperatures. And they're the ones which we're buying a lot of them now. You get them straight out of China, and the guy I'm working for buys like a container at a time. So they're about think about $9,000-$10,000 each here if we buy one in Australia, but he can get them out of China for about $6,000. So he buys a heap, and then they've got back to base units, so you can just check on your phone to see how low they're running. So you don't even have to. So you don't even have to go open them up and see what's inside. So
crazy.
Like what do you like sodas and stuff? Is it cans, plastic bottles, 12 ounce,
cans and
20
cans
ounce?
and we call it a 600 ml here. What's your you get the 20 ounce or whatever? What's the plastic bottle you do?
20 ounce, I think.
20 ounce, yeah. We do those and the cans. Yeah, that's it. The biggest seller though is Red Bull. That's it. Everybody wants bloody Red Bull.
Really? Out of the machine?
Red Bull. Yeah.
Wow.
And we sell it. We do the 20 ounce cans of Red Bull, or maybe a little bit smaller, but they're pretty big cans, and they're we sell them for about $5.50 each out of a machine, and they sell like crazy. So yeah.
Now, do those machines accept credit cards, or is it all?
Yeah, I got card readers, cash, and coin. So that's it. But a lot of them we're converting straight over to like tap and go, and then they do like iPhones and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like Apple Pay or whatever that is.
Yeah, no one carries cash anymore. The one we'll put it on the site and maybe make $50 a week. As soon as you put a credit card reader on it, it goes up to $3.50 a week. So,
jeez.
Yeah, no one cares. It's all young people buying Red Bull. They don't have cash.
Convenience. They don't think about the consequences.
Yeah, it's great. It's good. Apart from you get charged for every transaction, so it's like 75 cents every transaction just for them to tap it, and we have to cough that hit.
Right.
Red Bull is Coca-Cola. Really, they don't give you a good deal when you buy like a pallet of Red Bull at a time. You might only save, I don't know, $1,000 over buying it from like a convenience store. Really, like it's not much difference. So.
Oh wow, that's too bad.
Yeah, it's not much. But it still works out well. I get paid, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Right.
But if I get this job now, I'll be a lot better because it's full time and everything like that. I'll go back to full time work instead of playing a lot of video games I've been doing for the last 6 months. So,
nice.
Yeah, that'd be good. And then I can get some holiday time and come to Grinkers.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. All about priorities.
Well, I'm cashed up now, so I just got to see if I can get some work before it to keep the cash. So that's it. That's the whole plan.
Well, Orange Trip and I have seen the expansion at Drinkers, so.
Oh, really?
It'll absolutely be ready by October for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's almost done already.
Yeah, I went there like 2 weeks after you, Orange Trip.
Yeah.
And I would say, I guess if you could sort of split the new section into thirds. A third of it was all running, a third was kind of some running, some not, and the back third was kind of construction site, basically, is what it looked like. So, but there were people back in there playing games. I played some games too. So,
yeah, the Twilight Zone was really nice.
I didn't actually see that. I was too, busy looking at. Yeah, that's
too new of a pain. Come on,
Even I sat at the bar for probably a
90s,
solid hour and a half, just like throwing back the beers, telling stories. So it was good.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a game there called Mega Attack. I think last week we did it offline. I might have talked about it last week, but yeah. Yeah, that was a fun game. Kind of sort of Galaxian-ish, sort of Galaga-ish. Yeah, it was pretty fun though. Never saw it or played it before that. I don't know about any of the rest of you, but Mega Attack, well, that's one to check out. You can go there. So.
Yeah, that'll be awesome seeing what the expansion and all what Steve has out there, kind of how things are working.
Yeah.
A little bit more bathroom, right?
Yeah. That was not it. I saw no signs of that from when I went to use the bathroom. It's all on the other side of the wall. I think they're building it, then they'll break.
This is the environmental bathroom.
Yes, there you go.
So were the bathrooms? The bathroom is being built, yeah. Because when I was there, that room was basically just a bunch of games sitting around.
Yeah, I didn't go back. There was like a giant tarp kind of like covering that back area.
Oh, okay.
Hanging from the ceiling, so I just assumed like maybe they're working on the bathrooms back there, but yeah.
Yeah, when I was there, it was just kind of all it was all stripped, but I don't think anything had started being built yet.
Mm-hmm.
How much bigger has it made the place now? Like quite a lot.
Well, they're last year they were about 250 games, and now they're going to be I think 300 or so. So about 50 to 60 games more.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's huge. It's going to need a second bar.
Right?
It's kind of crazy, like
for its money.
I saw a video with you guys heard about the Garcade guy who used to have the Garagecade, and then he has an arcade now.
Yeah, he was in Greg's new video.
Yeah, he's saying his space is over 7,000 square feet already. It's crazy.
Mm. Did you see the new video with Arcade Impossible video?
Yeah, Brian Koo on it.
And nobody has the Billy Mitchell, and they're standing next to each other, and he's like, ask Greg how tall he is. He's 6'4", and you can see that he's taller than Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, so Billy Mitchell's
is like, I'm 6'5".
Like Andrew said, Billy Mitchell moved to the front of him a little bit so that he looked taller.
Dude, his head is like 100% bigger than mine. So he's really old.
He did it with Greg from Arcade Impossible in his video. Live in the video, he measured each other, like did their hands over their heads, and then he set Greg back a little bit, and he stood a little bit forward.
Yeah,
and then says he's taller. Yeah, it's great. He's still a good guy. That's it. When I met him, we got along well. I like him. So.
Wait, so that's a new. I had like a the alert.
It's the new video for MGC.
MGC was like a month or so ago.
Yeah, it goes for about.
It's actually like a recent new video he did.
Yeah, it's about 6 minutes. It's nothing amazing. They didn't even hit up.
He's got to learn to keep the levels on his fucking Nintendo music that he plays down because it's so fucking loud.
I so agree with that. It's not. Yeah.
I think he must have a different editor too because it was not as polished as his previous videos.
Yeah, well, I think they made a mistake at the end. They put the same slate up. They're like, here's what happened next, and then they did it again, and it's like, no, I think you made a mistake.
Yeah, it wasn't the same editing guy. Like I'm a Patreon for the video, for doing his videos. I give him I think it's like $5 every time he does video to help out pay for the editor. And this one didn't have any, I didn't take money out of my PayPal account or anything like that. So I think they must have just done it themselves on the computer or something just to get it out as quick as they could.
Yeah. Too busy doing his audio podcast.
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. I like your new video that come out, Gak, was pretty cool, man.
From
Manning. Yeah.
Yep.
From the Nat San Diego. That was cool.
You happen to be in that one, right?
I look so goddamn fat in that video. It's not funny. I couldn't believe it.
I'm totally skinny in all my videos.
But no, I looked at him like, does that shirt really fit me that fucking bad?
Hey, do you have pictures with you with your shirt off on Claw?
I have so many goddamn videos. As soon as it hits summer here, and I'm doing this podcast, I'm not wearing a shirt just in general.
No, so. In your black underwear, hammered.
Like, Dave, have you ever had another KLV member walk in on you in the hotel room to the horror of you asleep naked on the bed?
No.
Or trying to take a leak in their drawers, Gak.
Yeah. Speaking of Arcade Impossible.
Yeah, that's, no,
Did
I
anybody?
I will water your video equipment. It's not impossible.
No, I had my cousin being
anybody
pissed on.
Was there a GAC award for the weekend just gone? Or?
No. Everybody's urine was in the toilet or in the lake.
Yeah, no one did any like major terrible drunk things. So I don't
No.
publicly.
Yeah, if we at least rule out the whole trampoline incident, then
Yeah, but that wasn't even that bad. Everyone was good. No one did nuts.
yeah,
No one got
there was
hurt, thankfully.
Yeah, nobody got hurt.
Steve puking in the solo cup and
Nobody
Brian
threw up aside from Steve from Albany.
Yeah.
Well, so Steve,
Now, if he chugged it,
But that
he
was
chugged his solo cup, that'd have been awesome.
Oh.
No, it wouldn't. Nope.
Yeah.
Chunks of pizza.
You never know. Brian Coon might have had a taste.
Radri did that. I'm like, get this guy a Coke.
Double pepperoni.
I smell pizza. Pepperoni.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
Me too. I'm out.
All right.
Guys, thank you so much, guys. You guys are great.
Yeah, my cell phone's almost dead here too.
Why don't
Well,
someone just take us out of here?
Evening for us then. Yeah.
All right. So that was which one? Episode 126.
Yep.
Thanks everyone for hanging out with us tonight. I enjoyed all the stories. I hope everyone else did too. And so we'll be back next week. I don't know. We'll figure out what we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah, we'll probably be better rested though.
Yeah.
I know I'm still tired from the weekend. Oh,
Maybe
man.
maybe time to start talking CACs, Gary.
Yes.
We'll see.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, so thank you everyone for coming on, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Later,
Later, everybody.
Not all.